Hello, this is Derek Smith from codeovereasy.com, and this morning I thought I'd do a quick video in response to a question I got while being on site with a client this week, and it has to do with SharePoint document editing in relation to the offline sync feature in SharePoint 2013. So if you're not familiar with it, we have here just a standard SharePoint document library, and you'll notice this sync option, which basically creates an offline copy of this document library. It uses the OneDrive for Business engine to manage that synchronization. And you'll see if we go to Windows Explorer, here's our offline copy of that document. So we see SharePoint in our favorites list, and then we'll have a match for the library, and then inside that library, here's that same document we were just looking at. So the question that the client asked me was, if one employee or one person has an offline copy of a document and is working on that file, but simultaneously or in the same time period, someone edits the online copy, how does SharePoint reconcile those changes? And so I thought I'd try to illustrate that in this video. So what I'll do is, you can see here, I'm logged into this site as Alan, and that's going to represent employee A. On the sync client, however, I am authenticated as a different user, as the administrator user. So I'll go ahead and open this file up, and there's a couple clues we can look for. One is the save icon here in the corner. You see how it has the little arrows overlaying that, and that's indicating that, again, this is a offline copy of that. It's going to try to synchronize that against the server. The other thing we can see, if we click on the file notice here under save, we'll see when we get into editing there'll be another option there that'll indicate kind of who else is working on this document. So I've opened this up for editing in my client, and so let's go over and we'll use the Office web apps logged in as Alan here to do a simultaneous edit on the same document. So I'll say edit in Word online. Okay, so we've kind of set this up. We've got two simultaneous editing sessions on the same document. And again, almost immediately SharePoint detects that somebody else is also editing this file. And you can see that little pop-up we just saw, as well as this notice that says the administrator is also editing this file. Okay, well, that's interesting. So one thing that's important to kind of realize here is currently this document library, if I go ahead and back out to it, we do not have checkout required on this document library. So this is what's allowing two individuals to modify the document at the same time. So if we come into the documents settings for that library, under versioning settings, we see down here at the bottom that this option, require documents to be checked out before they can be edited, is marked to no. And so that's what's allowing both users to open and edit that file simultaneously. If we have this set to yes, then it will restrict that only one user can have that document in edit mode. The second user will have it in read-only mode. And we can try to illustrate that a little bit later. So again, I'll reopen this for editing in the browser, and we'll see kind of how SharePoint manages this simultaneous edit. Now, one thing to note here, again, in my what would be my offline version, I still am connected to the internet, so it is able to still find a path back to the SharePoint server where this document is housed. This might be a slightly different experience if I'm truly offline. I don't have a connection back. I'm editing in an offline mode and then synchronizing the file back up the next time that I come in and connect. So let's go ahead and make an edit on the client side. We'll say edited by administrator, and right now it is 8:22 a.m. and we'll go ahead and save that change here, and that's going to synchronize that change back up to the server because it is detecting that it's online. When we now go to our client side that's in the browser that Alan has open here, we'll see already when we flip that into edit mode, SharePoint's already synchronized that change into the view of the document. Again, we see the notice that another person is editing that. Now, Office Web Apps is a little bit less feature-rich in this regard, and we'll compare that to the full Word client here in a moment. So let's go ahead and make a similar edit in the online view, and it's now 8:23, so we'll go ahead and work that like that. Now, Office Web Apps, as you may know, is always automatically saving our changes, so we see at the bottom of the screen how it's indicating that it's saving that change, and then that has completed, so it's saved. Now again, when we toggle back to our client side, we can get a little bit of an update here. It says updates are available. So the Word app is reflecting that somebody else has this document open. We see another pop-up that says who is editing, so Alan, again, indicating to me that someone else is touching this file simultaneously. If I go ahead and click the link here to save and refresh, then this is a notice that Word offers. It'll indicating that it's basically going to highlight the changes made by other users. So we say OK to that, and then now we see highlighted in green here, that was the edit made by Alan. So again, this is what would be considered a co-authoring experience. We have two people simultaneously modifying this document, and SharePoint and the Office apps are managing those changes and making sure that we're able to see them back and forth as those changes take place. So let's change this up a little bit. I'll go ahead and close this out, and we'll go back to our team site, and let's change this document library so that checkout is required, and we'll see what how that changes the experience. So again, we'll come into library settings, we'll go to versioning, and we'll come down here and indicate that we need checkout to be required before we can edit this. Okay, great. So now this, again, because once we turn checkout on, then whoever gets to the document first is going to be the one who's able to make the changes. So we'll start on the browser side and have Alan open this. Again, initially this is just a read-only view, but we'll come in and indicate that we want to edit it, and essentially this is going to put the lock on. You see the warning there, check out this document before editing it. So it looks like Office Web Apps is not going to automatically do that for us. So we'll real quick go back to our document library and use the pop-up menu here to go ahead and check this out. Under Advanced, do checkout. So Alan essentially is claiming this document for editing. We see the icon change here to indicate that it's checked out. So now when I open it, I should be able to go into edit mode, even in the Word web app. And again, I have kind of a lock on this file at the moment. Okay, great, so I'm in edit mode. Let's go back over to our offline copy, and again, we're going to open this up in Word, and we should be able to see, yeah, there it is. So there's a notification that Word offers. It says this file is locked by another user, and I have this choice here to say notify me when this is available. So so I can sort of view this in read-only mode, but I'm not actually going to be able to save any changes until this file is released from Alan and allow me to change it. So so if I try to go ahead and make a change to this, let's see what happens here. And if we try to change save these changes, it may not even let me do it at all. Let's see what happens if it synchronizes that out. Again, it's not applying that change because it's showing that it is checked out by Alan. So my changes, See there, upload failed. So it's not able to post my changes because Alan has an exclusive lock on that file. And likewise, when I come back over to this side, it might indicate that administrator is also looking at this file, but it's not going to reflect those changes there. So let me make an edit on this side once again. 828, and again, Office Web Apps is going to automatically save that. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and go back to our document library, and I'll release the check-in on this file. So again, I come in under the pop-up menus, come to Advanced, say check-in. I'm prompted to put a comment on it if I like, but I'll go ahead and say okay to that. So my changes now have been captured and applied by Alan, and you notice the icon is now indicating that there's no lock on that file. And what we should see on this side is that when I now try to save and synchronize, we should be able to see this. Oh, we're almost halfway there. So again, now because checkout is required, I do not yet, on my offline copy, have not yet completed a checkout. And so again, the Word client app is a little more feature rich in the sense where it's offering me that ability to check out the file right here from the notification bar. So if I go ahead and click on that, we'll see if it takes. Sometimes the offline is a little bit of a lag to get that to take in. Looks like it's not able to do that through this side. So so this is a little bit of a quirk, I think, of the OneDrive for Business, where even though I'm in kind of connected mode, it's still not able to reflect those changes. Let's see what happens if we close this out. Obviously, this is a warning of I have changes that haven't been applied yet. I'll go ahead and close that, and we'll reopen it and see if we can get that checkout to occur. Okay, so on the second open, we see the change that Alan made, so it synchronized that down to my view. Rather than using this notification, let's go into the file side here and try to do it from the menu here. See if that allows it to take. Looks like that did it this time through. And we can check that by going back to the document library. If we refresh this view, then we'll see if we see the checkout, right? There it is. And if we hover on the document, we should see that it's checked out at the moment. See, it's not allowing me to check it out myself because another user has it checked out. So a little bit of a quirk on the notification, but again, Word is able to trigger that checkout if we go from the file menu. So now I've made this is still showing my offline change, but it hasn't been synchronized up to the server yet. And so we'll go ahead and apply that. And then again, I can trigger the check-in process from within the Word app and post that back. So it puts it back into a read-only mode. I would have to check it out again in order to edit that file. We see the synchronization icon here indicating that those changes have been applied back up to the server. And then finally, if we look at the document library itself, again, refreshing on this view, we should see the checkout icon clear, and the last modification was done by the administrator. Okay. So again, a couple different forms, and depending on the nature of the document, sometimes it might be necessary to do the checkout where it's an exclusive lock, one editor at a time. But at other times for collaboration, you may want to not require checkout and have that kind of co-editing experience. And we were seeing it from one user being offline through the Word Office application, and another user through the browser Office web app. But the same type of experience with the notification and the synchronization of changes back and forth would happen if both users were using the Word client or both users were using the Office web app. So this is a great feature of Office and of SharePoint 2013 to really allow that co-editing to happen. And you can imagine in a rich collaboration kind of environment where maybe you have a team of people who are all interacting around one document and doing revisions, being able to see that and collaborate in real time is actually pretty cool. So I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on the blog or on the video. And if you have ideas for new or other questions about how some of these SharePoint features work, please let me know, and I'll be happy to do some more videos for you. Thanks again. This is Derek Smith from CodeOverEasy.com.